So here we are in beautiful downtown Shirlington, Virginia, just south of DC, sort of a bedroom community away from the city, near the Pentagon. This area was built when I was about 18, maybe 20. I remember coming out here and thinking, God, I don't know if this will ever turn into anything. And it became really a great neighborhood and a hub. And it's got a lot of benefits. It has free parking, which is terrific. And now it has Astro Donuts and Astro Beer Hall. For us, it's been a really nice challenge to build this massive place here that departs from the typical just kind of bar-only thing that I've done in the past, but has a great menu and has a lot of offerings that satisfy people throughout the day. And then the super secret thing people are just starting to find out about is 1969, the bar. And that's the second part of this whole project in the basement. But the cool thing about this is entering from the patio. It's our secret entrance. What happens on a beautiful day is people love these tables by the door. They can see the TVs and they can get their service, and it's really fantastic. The indoor-outdoor thing works great. This is a big horseshoe bar, so it's massive. It just goes on forever. We got too many TVs. Can you have too many TVs at a place that's a sports bar? I don't think so. And then my buddy Billy Colbert has been hard at work. This is his latest piece up here in the corner, and this was, if I say so myself, blah, and nobody wanted to be here. And now with Billy's creativity and work, it's like suddenly got character and energy. And we're trying to get that throughout the upstairs, and it's hard. We have high ceilings, we've got a lot of space. It's hard to make it cozy. The next piece of this is we're gonna put in booths, dining booths. One of the misses is that there's just not a comfortable place to sit. So in the next 6 weeks, the booths will be in, and I think our customers are gonna really like it. This combined with 1969 downstairs is a win. You know, the bar is massive. We did a Astro mural on here and covered it with Ultra Glow, which is just Teflon as far as bar tops go. The other cool thing about this bar that I like, that there are two sides to this, but it's shallow. So when you're sitting here, you've got a lot more connection to the bartender. And a lot of bars, you know, you got these big bars. The bartenders kind of have to reach across. There's no connection. And a really good bar, you're gonna have connection with your staff and your servers, and they're gonna feel a connection with the customer. And I think when you start adding up little things that make a bar experience great and make people wanna come back, I think that's one of them. Over here we have some games. When we started this, we had the idea that we would have coin-op games. And so we had a lot of noisy, loud games. We had giant Connect 4, and we had all these other things, and it was bright and it was loud, and we had basketball game, and it really felt like Chuck E. Cheese meets Dave & Buster's meets the boardwalk at the beach, and it was too much. People come through the door and they couldn't feel that they were in a bar. And so I think we lost a lot of people on entry for the astronaut theme, you know, attempting re-entry, but just like they were like not impressed and they went back into orbit. So what we did is we darkened this space. We went to shuffleboard, we went to darts, and we kept one of the games that I think is terrific in the bar, but it was a little bright and loud, so we tucked it in a corner, and that's skee ball. And so people can play skee ball now. We got 3 of them here. That's enough to have a league. It's, you know, if kids come in, and we had this deluge of kids on Saturday, and that was kind of good because their parents could get a drink or have some food, and the kids were like running everywhere and going crazy. And while that was sort of a core business, it was okay. It was also, for the long term, not going to help this place become the go-to place for people in their 20s and 30s. So we had to make a decision whether we were going to be a loud, noisy game bar or whether we were going to have a place that had energy and creativity and softness. And so we went with the latter, for better or for worse. This big upstairs, we got all this stuff going on. It's starting to feel like a funky place, and you think, man, this is fantastic. But what you haven't seen is the secret sauce. And that is right over here. Doesn't look like much until you see Billy's work, 1969. And one of the tip-offs that you have to be 21 to enter, because we really want this to be for the grown-ups. So come on down and check it out. 1969, all over again. Could it get better? Down here is just a quiet getaway from everything that's upstairs and everything that's on the street. There's no place like this really in Northern Virginia that I know of, but certainly not in Shirlington where we are now. Once again, Billy Colbert came in and just put his sense of kind of cool on it. I had an idea and I said, I want to do this, this, and this. And Billy said, yeah, sounds good. And then he did what he wanted to do. And so if I were like an architect and I would have to do this, then I'd be mad. But I'm a realist. And actually what I know is that he's a brilliant designer and that he's done so much for me and all the other bars that here you go, here are the keys, knock it out. So he would come in at night and work on this. The construction guys were building it. And what we ended up putting together is his photo collages of period pieces, Man from U.N.C.L.E., incredible, you know, the old S&H green stamps, all these things that date back to the 60s. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. I mean, these are all things that ring. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer. You know, and I just remember that so clearly. We've got a secret visitor here that a lot of people don't notice until later. We've got the Capstronaut flying overhead, and that goes back to Rocket Bar. And I actually used to wear that outfit and run up and down 7th Street dressed as the Capstronaut. One day I wore it to a Capitals game. They won. Ted Leonsis, the owner of the team, said, "Oh, Rocket Man, come see me at the next game." And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta put this thing on again. I went in, they won again. I became the Capstronaut. I went to 14 games and a couple of other people filled in along the way. And it was one of those crazy marketing moments. It's a line in my obituary, I'm sure. That's what I thought when I was doing it. That's definitely gonna be remembered when I'm out the back door. So Billy came up with this incredible Pan Am mural on this wall. It's funny because our manager, Nikki, who's younger than I am, said, Pan Am, yeah, I sort of heard of that sometime. And like when I was growing up, Pan Am was like, that was it. That was the airline, the global airline. Times they are changing. And 1969 is here to remind you of what happened. The Miracle Mets, oh my God. Nobody expected them to win. We've got the Smirnoff lady with the big hair. And then you get over here to the bar. So when we start these things, we have an idea. Like I knew when I came in here what this was going to be, and it came out pretty much how I wanted it to come out. But once people like Billy, my contractor Jeff McNabola, who I met in college at UMass back in the day, once they get their hands on it, they twist it around and add a lot of improvement to what I thought I was going to do. But I knew we wanted booths on this wall. Elevated one step, easy to slide right into. They're small booths, but you know, I've seen 6 people packed in here, which is tight, but 4 are certainly comfortable. And then we have a timeline of 1969 under construction now. It's just going to be the whole year of all the things that happened, from Eisenhower dying to Joe Namath winning the Super Bowl and Cassius Clay, and just, it's an incredible year filled with imagery and Woodstock and the Apollo landing on the moon. There's so much that happened then. And then if you're sitting here, you can watch TV, see a game over there. This isn't a sports bar. This is a bar that has some sports available, but this is about the people you're with. We want this to sort of reflect 1969 when you'd go to a bar and you'd hang out and you'd actually talk to people, or you'd play pool and you wouldn't have your head buried in your phone every minute. That's an uphill battle, but we're willing to give it a shot. Behind the bar, incredible. Once again, Billy I bought a bunch of stuff. He used some of it. He found even better stuff. JFK, every bar in 1969 had a picture of John F. Kennedy on the wall. So we're exactly like them. Raquel Welch, one of the icons of that era. A mishmash of cool stuff is kind of how we describe it. We've got an old Space Invaders machine. Well, that's not 1969, but that's old enough to be included. And then just basic stuff, dartboards, art from 1969 magazines. Is just, if you're here and you're alone, you're not going to be bored. That's what's kind of cool about it. You can just constantly find things that are interesting. You know, one of our big wins was I was down here and I really wanted a phone booth, and I actually have a phone booth somewhere and it disappeared. I don't know how, but I couldn't find it. So I started looking on Craigslist and I found one in Connecticut. I rented a van. It was $1,000. It looked pretty good. I drove up there, and sure enough, it was maybe the steal of the century. It works, the lights are good, it's got the old phone, and we have one problem. We're gonna make it so that you can go in here and dial a phone call to your grandmother. And we're also gonna let the phone ring in here, and the sign's gonna say, if the phone rings, answer it, but be nice, it might be your grandmother. Everything is coming. It's funny, all these ideas we had to open with, but really, it all takes time, and so we just slowly put them together. This one's gonna be great. Underneath the sort of functional side of this bar is that this walk-in cooler is directly underneath the upstairs bar. And so when we came into the space, it had been a brewery. There were all kinds of tanks and brewing equipment down here and walls everywhere. We just gutted it and then took the cooler apart. Instead of buying a new one, we just reassembled the walls because they're just foam walls, bought new guts to make it, you know, the cooling equipment. And the beer lines go straight up into the upstairs bar and straight out the wall here. And that's just, if you can do that in a bar, it's great, because I've had bars where we ran miles of beer lines and then discovered that every time you clean them, you lose miles of beer. This way, The cleaning is easy to do. It gets both bars at the same time. You have to clean your beer lines, but it doesn't cost you a fortune when you do it. I think that's pretty much covers the downstairs. So we haven't really paid for a lot of advertising. I find that if you do big advertising blitz and everybody shows up at once, you disappoint them because you have too many people. So it's this organic growth takes a little bit longer sometimes, but it actually pays dividends because the people who do come in find a good time and they enjoy themselves. 1969 was booze, rock and roll, cigarettes, and it's just cars. That was it, and so we find like the iconic images of all of those things are here, and we just went a little crazy, and it's been a ton of fun. So there you have it, Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken and Astro Beer Hall. It's the three food groups, beer, donuts, and chicken. What else do you need? People love it. It's been a terrific addition to the neighborhood. We're surrounded by complimentary restaurants and bars, and I think we have a long shelf life. And if people continue to enjoy outdoor patios, games, and fun, and sports, I think we're gonna be here a long, long time. Thanks for joining me here. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Come on down, and don't forget to check out 1969. It is one of the best bars I've ever been a part of. Take care.